Ice Cube, because Ice Cube has come out and given everybody some brutal truth. Sorry, Angel Reese, the $5 million offer was only for Caitlin Clark.
Personal, but it was business. That's all it is, business. Y'all gonna make it personal though.
Angel Reese, unfinished breakdown. Following the cancellation of significant sponsorships, Angel Reese has entered full-fledged meltdown mode following the withdrawal of several significant sponsorships and the loud fallout. From Ice Cube's rejection in public. The Bayou Barbie has hit a brick wall in terms of branding, with fan rumors escalating into full-fledged criticism. What's the worst part? It all began when Caitlin Clark took control of both her city and her spotlight.
What happened to Miss Angel Reese? She's all in Indiana during All-Star, and her Reebok campaign, come to your trap, take over your trap.
They believed that Angel Reese would be the WNBA's next big star, the marketing goldmine, the fan magnet, and the brand queen. However, the tide abruptly changed, the headlines began to change, the rumors circulating within the sector became more audible. We are currently witnessing the fallout in real time, sponsorships that were previously scheduled silently disappearing around the block.
Ice Cube, they're about to come and get Ice Cube. We know how this works. It won't be long.
Things have become tense behind closed doors. Several significant campaigns connected to Angel. Some have been shelved, some are indefinitely, and some are already in development, others simply scrapped. Agencies are discussing and examining the ROI, engagement, and numbers, and you know what they're saying? She may no longer be worth the wager, in our opinion, and you know who started this PR frenzy? Cube of Ice.
So, Ice Cube, you see the headline from TMZ. Sorry, Angel Reese, the $5 million offer was only for Caitlin Clark.
One brutally honest interview with TMZ was all that was required. It was only a few words, but the impact was enormous. They did not convey the same information to us. Concerning Angel Reese, when asked why his Big Three league only offered Caitlin Clark, Cube responded as follows. A $5 million agreement. No one else, not even Angel, only Clark. Why? Because Caitlin could unlock millions, according to the sponsor. Angel, not very much.
This is confirmation from the people that want to pay the money. Sponsors.
Cube presented it simply. I'm not in the business of losing money, and there it was, the more powerful confirmation. More than any headline. If Cube, a person with ST credibility and business acumen, claims she's not worth it, why would a business sponsor take a chance?
TMZ Sports caught up with Ice Cube himself at LAX this week, and the Big Three honcho said that there will be no deal put in front of Angel Reese anytime soon.
Let's face it, this is about perception, and perception is money, not just a lost deal. Executives began reassessing everything as soon as those remarks were made. You could almost hear the phone conversations. Hello, are we certain that the Angel Reese rollout will take place next quarter, one by one? The zeal subsided. The numbers don't support the hype, not because Angel isn't talented.
He didn't tell us the same thing about Angel Reese.
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, is a different story. It wasn't a risk when the Big Three made her a $5 million offer. It was computed. They were aware that she could draw large crowds, attention, and money for just 10 games during the regular season. And 2 postseason games. That's $500,000 per game. That ROI is comparable to LeBron's. Sponsors are pleading for that kind of star power. Now compare that to Angel Reese. No negotiation, no discussion, no offer, nothing. Additionally, supporters who bought into the it was difficult to accept the it-girl narrative because this wasn't just Twitter gossip. Money was speaking loudly here.
Caitlin Clark went to Chicago and took the city over. It looked like she took the city over. CC with MJ. CC get treated like MJ in the rack. Oh my God.
This is where it hurts the most. This took place during the actual takeover of Chicago by Caitlin Clark. Angel City. It's her territory. Crowds were swarming Clark as Reese's Reebok trap campaign faded into the distance. She reminded me of Michael Jackson in his prime. People lined up for hours to get autographs, ran to her, and yelled her name. This was genuine. It wasn't staged or promoted. It was best expressed in the online commentary. Caitlin Clark fell into her trap and accepted it, no matter what.
Wow, I'm not sure any other single, outside of just the pure numbers that we keep showing people, literal numbers,
Angel is now confronted with a harsh reality: the excitement that propelled her into the league, it's insufficient now. Since sponsors began comparing actual numbers, actual influence, and actual marketability, she was not favored by the comparison. Caitlin Clark benefited from it every single time.
Gotta understand your place sometime. Look, they talking about Caitlin Clark took over Angel Reese's trap. See, this is why you don't need to keep trying to take shots at her. She took the city over.
The risk of overbranding before outperforming is that believing followers fall into that trap. Equal in terms of money, and now the meltdown starts as the offers stop coming in and the deals dry up. Not very loud. Slow, quiet, and painful, but not in public. What is the most uncomfortable aspect? Ice Cube didn't say anything hurtful. He was honest, and those with the checkbooks agree with that.
Caitlin Clark took over Chicago. She signed autographs for hours. This wasn't no extras that was paid to come stand in the scene. No, these were real people trying to get autographs.
With all new WWE merchandise, Sky jerseys, teams anymore. We've got something for everyone.
Instead of being the main attraction, Angel Reese is now the cautionary tale. Let's just state this. Caitlin Clark didn't just show up when she arrived in Chicago, she assumed control. A full-fledged fan stampede is what we're talking about. Vitality.in. Case you're wondering which city it was meant to be, all eyes were on Angel, then. Reese, however, what had begun as her trap soon became Caitlin's coronation. They expressed it online and loudly. And they uttered it in public. Angel Reese's trap was taken over by Caitlin Clark, not merely metaphorically. Literally, people were shouting her name and waving jerseys in the streets of Chicago, pursuing her as if she were Michael Jordan's second coming.
Chicago, the queen of the rack. The biggest Barbie.
Because Caitlin Clark's actions in Chicago involved cultural takeover in addition to basketball. The city, the crowd, the energy, and even the memes crowned her the queen of the rack. At that point, the perception game altered. Angel had the slogans, the Reebok deal, and the swagger. However, Caitlin, the people were with her. People also don't tell lies.
I mean, outside of the fact you can't even get half the amount of people inside a LSU arena.
This is where things became even more chaotic, though. Angel Reese began to vanish at the same moment that the excitement surrounding CC erupted. Game that is televised nationally, she was dubious. The next major match, day to day, still, indeed, back injuries are serious. However, fans, being fans, began researching, conjecturing, and inquiring as to whether she was truly too injured to play, or simply too astute to take a chance on a direct comparison.
I don't know how you could ever imagine, how can you compete with this?
Because the contrast would be excruciating if Reese was sitting while ratings declined and Caitlin was out there packing arenas. Evident, she didn't want to be clearly outdrawn on live TV, according to some fans. Others claimed that her camp was aware of, was approaching and advised her to keep quiet. In all honesty, it's not all that implausible given how popular these stories are on social media.
Angel Reese was not going to be able to bring in the amount of eyes for the sponsors and for the league for him to justify that offer.
According to reports, Ice Cube's team had previously noted engagement drop-offs on Angel's name. These games were missed by her. Less spark, less traction, and less hype. That's what sponsors consider. Additionally, in business, the size of a WNBA arena is a warning sign.
Get to be a dog and get to that platform where you get to bring a national title, the first one back to LSU, without having that type of mentality, that chip on your shoulder. And I feel like we have to let these young women be unapologetically themselves.
You see, this is where the figures are useful. Furthermore, numbers are truthful. Let's discuss the facts. Sales of Caitlin Clark's jerseys? Top of the rankings. Attendance during her performances, sellouts, ratings on TV. The WNBA's efforts from the previous season should be doubled or tripled. And we're talking about road games, not just Indiana Fever home games. Everywhere she goes, she is the attraction.
You cannot measure up. You don't have as many followers you have on Instagram. That is great. I will not take away from the fact that you are one of the bigger brands in the WNBA. You are a star in your own right, but you are not Caitlin Clark. It's a different.
Angel Reese, still a star and a name, but let's not act as though the numbers are comparable. Sales of her jerseys are strong, but not making history. Even after winning the national championship, LSU was unable to fill half of its home arena. Additionally, her presence doesn't have the same impact without the social media drama and viral feuds.
So Ice Cube's literally saying, we sat down, looked at the actual figures, And the draw wasn't there. The fever wasn't there. Oh, no pun intended.
This explains why business insiders and sports YouTubers alike frequently use the same quote. Numbers don't lie, but men and women do. Sponsors want assurances, not speculation, when it comes time to write checks. And Caitlin Clark delivers. Forget about it. Therefore, it is not a question of whether or not Angel Reese is talented. Whether the drama and the image are aiding or hindering her is the question. Additionally, following what we recently witnessed in Chicago and what we've heard from Ice Cube, that response is getting louder.